The virtual CISO moment is brought to you by vCISO Services, a leading provider of quality and experienced virtual chief information security officers for small and mid-sized businesses. Check them out at vcisoservices.com. Hi, I'm Greg Schaefer, and welcome to the virtual CISO moment Infosec wrap-up for Friday, March 31st, 2023. We begin with an alert from HackRead. IRS tax forms W-9 email scam drops Emotet software malware. Now, researchers have warned users to be on alert as the IRS never sends emails to confirm taxpayers' personal information. So Malwarebytes is who's discovered this. They're warning taxpayers about this scam that delivers the Emotet malware. This is a notorious banking Trojan that steals sensitive financial information from victims' computers. According to the researchers, the fraudulent emails appear to be sent from the agency and contain a subject line such as IRS tax form W-9. Of course, this time of the year, if you haven't done your taxes, you're kind of a little bit on edge and you want to make sure you get your taxes in. So you might be a little bit more conditioned to want to open up these emails. The message simply asks the recipient if they require a hard copy of the tax form stating, "Let me know if you'd like a hard copy mailed as well." However, the attachment is actually a malicious payload that installs Emotet on the victim's device if macros is enabled. Once installed, the malware can steal sensitive information such as login credentials, financial data, and PII. Moreover, the malicious Word document is 500 meg in size, which alone should stand as the biggest indicator that, hey, something's wrong with the downloaded file. It's also worth noting that the users should also be aware of emails that contain subjects, particularly during this time of the year, like tax payment request or automatic income tax reminder, which instruct the recipient to download a Microsoft document to review and confirm their personal details. Happy tax season. We only got a few more weeks left. Speaking about phishing, the sheer volume of phishing emails sent in 2022, catch this, spiked by a jaw-dropping 569%, according to a just-released analysis reported by Dark Reading. After sifting through a global network of data from 35 million users using artificial and machine learning analysis, Cofense researchers released their latest State of Email Security report that details the astronomical rise of email phishing as a tactic among threat actors in 2022. Now, 5 specific trends from the report. I guess I could have used this as a list at the end because I don't have a list today. So we'll make this the mini list in the beginning of the podcast. So, first one, the number of credential phishing emails sent spiked by 478%. Emotet, as we just said a moment ago, and Quokbot or Oakbot are the top malware families observed. For the 8th consecutive year and going strong, Business Email Compromise, or BEC, because we love acronyms, ranked as the top cyber crime. Web3 use jumped by 341%. And number 5, there was an 800% increase in the use of Telegram bots for exfiltration. Keep your awareness up. From the Hacker News, this is not good either. Enterprise communications software maker 3CX yesterday confirmed that multiple versions of his desktop app for Windows and Mac OS are affected by a supply chain attack. Now, the version numbers here include 18.12.407, 18.12.416 for Windows, and 18.11.12.13, 18.12.402, 18.12.407, and 18.12.416 for Mac OS. Now, the company said that it is engaging the services of Google-owned Mandiant to review the incident, as opposed to what they usually say is a leading external provider of such services. In the interim, it's urging its customers of self-hosted and on-prem versions of the software to update to version 18.12.422. Now, this is from a post from 3CX CEO Nick Galea yesterday. 3CX hosted and startup users do not need to update their servers, as we will be updating them all over the night automatically, assuming that's probably already happened, so check your servers. Servers will be restarted, and the new Electron app MSI DMG will be installed on the server, along with the flux capacitor. I added the last part. Evidence available for so far points to either a compromise of 3CX's software built pipeline to distribute Windows and Mac OS versions of the app, or alternatively, the poisoning of an upstream dependency. The scale of the attack is currently not known. Patch, patch, patch. Infosecurity magazine reports roughly 4 out of 5 employees, more precisely 71%, store sensitive work passwords on their personal phones, and 66% use their personal texting apps for work. Doesn't say whether or not this is despite it being not allowed in an acceptable use policy or similar. The data comes from SlashNext's latest mobile Bring Your Own Device, BYOD acronym, security report, which also suggests that 95% of security leaders are increasingly concerned about phishing attacks via private messaging apps. Now, SlashNext CEO Patrick Haar says, quote, in 2022, we saw that the use of personal devices and personal apps was the direct cause of many high-profile corporate breaches. This is a trend that will surely continue as employees often use corporate and personal devices for work, effectively doubling the attack surface for cyber criminals. I don't think it's effectively doubling, but be that as it may. According to Haar, this is because threat actors know that there are fewer security controls on personal mobile devices than on corporate ones. Now, the SlashNext report also highlights a mirrored trend with a majority of IT and security leaders, acknowledging, knew that was coming, acknowledging legal concerns about having access to employees' private data. According to roughly 4 out of 5 employers, 81%, the solution to most of the issues above is providing employees a separate phone just for work, which can be very cumbersome. And of course, that's going to increase the attack surface 2 times, potentially. Believing Computer reports that Microsoft Defender is mistakenly flagging legitimate links as malicious. Microsoft's engineers are investigating this service incident as a false positive. So if you're seeing this, it might not be as bad as you think it is. Quote, we're investigating an issue where legitimate URL links are being incorrectly marked as malicious by the Microsoft Defender services. Additionally, some of the alerts are not showing content as expected. Microsoft continued to state, we've confirmed that users are still able to access the legitimate URLs despite the false positive alerts. We're investigating why and what part of the service is correctly identifying legitimate URLs as malicious. In an update it added to the Microsoft 365 Admin Center portal, Redmond, which means Microsoft because that's where they're located, confirmed that admins would likely receive an increased number of high security alert email messages saying that a potentially malicious URL click was detected. New Alien Fox toolkit harvests credentials for tens of cloud services. This comes from Security Affairs. Alien Fox is a novel, comprehensive toolset for harvesting credentials for multiple cloud service providers, Sentinel Labs reported. Alien Fox is available for sale and is primarily distributed on Telegram in the form of source code archives. Some modules are available on GitHub, allowing threat actors to customize their malicious code to suit their needs. Now, Alien Fox allows its operators to harvest API keys and secrets from popular services, including AWS SES and Microsoft Office 365. A quote here from the report from Sentinel Labs. Sentinel Labs has identified a new toolkit dubbed Alien Fox that attackers are using to compromise email and web hosting services. Alien Fox is highly modular and evolves regularly. Most of the tools are open source, meaning that actors can readily adapt and modify to suit their needs. Many developers take credit on different iterations of the tools. This reads the report from Sentinel Labs. Going on in the report, the evolution of recurring features suggests the developers are becoming increasingly sophisticated, with performance considerations at the forefront of more recent versions. I love the name of that, Alien Fox. If anyone knows the origin of the name, drop it in the chat or let me know the podcast notes. Now, you've probably already seen this. This was big earlier in the week, particularly if you're an Apple product user. But Apple has released security updates to address vulnerabilities in multiple products. An attacker could exploit some of these vulnerabilities to take control of an affected device. Now, CISA encourages users and administrators to review the relevant advisories and apply the necessary updates. And this is from a CISA advisory that you can get to in the link in the show notes. A Minnesota education bill would let schools apply for cybersecurity grants. This, according to the Sahan Journal. A $35 million proposal in the House Education Omnibus Bill would allow schools to apply for grants to address building safety and cybersecurity needs. The bill highlights cyber insurance, but experts say it may not do much to prevent the attacks in the first place. Now, this $2.2 billion House Education Omnibus Bill, which was unveiled on Monday, would allocate $35 million in a one-time grant funding for school districts and charter schools to address school safety issues, including both building security and cybersecurity. Now, this time, for the first time, for the latter part there, the legislators' school safety grants would allow funding for cybersecurity. It's an issue that has received increased attention in Minnesota and elsewhere since a February ransom attack on the Minneapolis public schools, which the district has described as a, quote, encryption event. The attacker later released personal information of current and former staff and students on the dark web. Minneapolis Public Schools has said that it is working closely with the FBI, reviewing the data and contacting affected individuals. District and charter schools could use the school safety funds for cyber insurance premiums and associated costs with getting the insurance, because this would also allow school districts to use existing school safety funds for cybersecurity. But experts told the Sahan Journal that providing grant funding for cyber insurance would not solve the issues that make school districts vulnerable to cyber attacks. Doug Levin, the director of the K-12 Security Information Exchange, said, quote, I think that school districts in the state would be better served by a more coherent strategy for building the long-term capacity of schools to better defend themselves. Now, information security consulting does seem to be all the rage today. The freedom, flexibility, challenges, and income it offers are all significant draws. But it's not all sunshine and roses. Understanding corporate team culture, taxes, insurance, marketing, and ethics are just a few of the challenges an information security consultant may face. Before jumping into consulting, you might want to check out, if you're in the area, my talk at B-Sides Nashville, where I'll talk about the challenges and opportunities for information security consultants so you can make a risk-informed decision whether to dip your toes in the water or to take a total plunge. You can also catch some of this about what I'm going to be talking about on my YouTube channel, the VCISO YouTube channel, https youtube.com/VCISO. I've been doing a short video series there, and a lot of what I'm talking there, I'll be talking at B-Sides. Some will be a little bit different. So if you're in Nashville at that point in time, hit me up. Would love to talk to you. Hope you can make it. And that's it for today. I hope you have a wonderful week. Catch up with you on Monday with a quick strike. And until then, always stay secure.